Sakura, Sakura, Yayoi no sora wa miwatasu kagiri kasumi ka kumo ka. そっから知らん。雪ポケットあゆいん。Yes, let's talk about the cherry blossoms. Yeah, in Japan, these trees are more for blossoms and not for cherries. But we also have a cherry trees for cherries, which is called Seiyo Sakura, which means a Western Sakura. And the cherries are called Sakurambo, which means Sakura's babies. And for the blossoms, we have about 300 different kinds of Sakura, and 80% of them are the new type, which was successfully produced by graffiting technique in the late 19th century. So before that, the sakura trees were too sensitive to live on the ground level, and most of them were living in a mountain area. So the name Sakura originally means a god chair. And in ancient time, people were living from rice farming and believed that there is a friendly god is coming to help us and work together. When the people see some white spot on the mountain, then kasumi ka kumo ka, so whether it's a haze or clouds, and if it's a sakura, it means a god having a break there on the way from up there to down here. So we better start preparing the field. Since then, sakura blooming became a sign to start working. So our school starts and also companies start, or any annual project start from April 1st. And this modern version of Hanami party became a perfect situation among students and colleagues to get to know each other. In the 17th century, the shogun Tokugawa III, Iemitsu, he ordered sakura from Yoshino Mountain in Nara. And Yoshino is famous for thousands of sakura covering whole mountain for 1 month. And he planted in his family temple in Ueno in Tokyo to play for the first and second shogun, who is his grandfather and father. And it came all the way from famous Yoshino. People went to see this sakura. And that's the first Hanami in Tokyo. So here we have painting. It's painted by Mitsunobu Tosa in the 15th century. And you might think there is a big sakura and the couple here are enjoying Hanami. This sakura is a metaphor of their feelings. It's pure and getting bigger and bigger, and you see it start losing a flower, so it's unfulfilled love. Sakura flowing in the wind. This is called sakura fubuki, and it means sakura storm. And it appears in all kinds of love stories. It's almost kitschy, but still you feel sympathy with. Because of this sentimentalism and also the short life of the blossoms, and samurai didn't like sakura so much. Yeah, there's one town called Kakunodate in the northern part of Japan, and they are famous for sakura and samurai houses. And these sakura there were brought by an upper-class lady from Kyoto when she was married to a samurai there. Their sakura is like 300 years old. By the river bank, there is also a sakura all the way for 2 kilometers long. And this sakura is 87 years old. And there it's nice to rent a bicycle and cycle along the river under the cherry blossoms. That's kind of nice. Yeah, there's one more sakura specialty in Kakunadate. It's a craft called kabazaiku, which is a cherry bark ware. And they also use the skin from a mountain sakura, and this is started by samurai families. This one is from Mr. Ohashi. He told me, when you look at this kabazaiku, then of course the surface and the feelings on your hand are very important, but also you see on the bottom. And most of them are flat, but the good ones are bottom up. In the Ume video, I showed you many crafts with Ume pattern on it, but I don't have any crafts with sakura pattern on it. So in the 20th century, the Meiji government has started militarism using sakura as a national symbol. So you might see some crafts with sakura pattern on it in antique shops, but they are from this period. And still, sakura is used in an emblem for so-called self-defense force. So it has a strong political meaning. There's old school all over Japan. Sakura trees are planted. And this is because the Meiji government wanted to educate children to live like sakura. Not like bamboo anymore, but live like sakura. And so this thin pink color teaches the beauty of modesty. And this small flower blooming all together, so many of them at once, teaches the beauty of cooperation and group power. And also to live your life, so bloom like a flower and end your life like sakura. And this is how the young boys were ordered to fly into the sky and fall down like sakura. So after the Second World War, the local government and some private associations has planted many sakuras as a requiem for the victims and to cheer people up somehow for a new start. And with this economy growth, the traveling became a fashion within Japan. So the several cities has established museums and rebuilt a castle as a city symbol and planted more and more sakura. And I wonder what the samurai thinks when they see this newly built castle with elevator built in and sakura is all over. So the sakura what you see now is about 50 to 60 years old. These days it became more an entertainment and you get to see a sakura forecast like a weather report. But to be honest, I don't find it so beautiful in this entertainment sakura. But when I see them blooming in a mountain, I find it so beautiful because it looks like a mountain is wearing a jewelry, Well, I have talked so much now, and thank you for listening all the way to here. But because visiting Japan during Sakura season became more and more popular, so I wanted you all know there are so many meanings. So Sakura as a starting sign, Sakura as Saudaji, and Sakura as short but beautiful life, and Sakura as a condolence, and Sakura as a political force, and those all meanings are mixed up like a sakura storm, and that's why sakura is a very special flower in Japan. I have 3 sakura which I have been wanting to visit and not yet successful. One is 1,000 years old, and second 2,000 years old, and 3 it's my secret. Yeah, I would like to talk about my secret sakura already now, but I will keep it to